Let me break it down like this. If I were ever abducted by aliens and I told some people and the whole entire world didn't believe me because quote unquote aliens don't exist, I don't care what kind of expert you put in my face. I don't care what you read. I don't care who you talk to. Can't nobody convince me that I didn't experience what I experienced. And I will go to the grave believing that that was a real thing.
I'm prolific, so gifted. I'm the type that's gon' go get it, no kidding. Breaking down a switch in front of your building. Sitting on the steps, feeling no feelings. Last night it was a cold killing. You gotta keep the devil in his hole, nigga. But you know how it go, nigga. I'm front line every time it's on, nigga. 100 pro flow, running shoot pro. 458 drop, playing bulletproof soul. Every few shows, I just buy some new gold. Circle got smaller, everybody can't go. Downtown Diamond District, jewelers like yo. Hustle, holla at me, I got Cubans on the low. Through the Cancun, smoking Cubans on the boat. Then dock that Tulum just to smoke. Look, listening to music at the Mayan ruins. True devotion on the bluest ocean. Cruising, my cultural influence, even revolution. I'm integrated vertically, y'all niggas blew it.
Today I learned about Constantine, the Roman emperor, and his story.
According to Eusebius's writings, it's here at the Milvian Bridge, north of Rome, that Constantine had a vision of the cross and a dream about Jesus.
I was watching the documentary on YouTube about the history of the world, and when it got to the point where they started talking about Constantine, I hadn't yet fallen asleep. And I heard them say that Constantine had a vision of a cross in the sky, which I immediately, perked up. This statement piqued my interest and curiosity because I had a vision of a cross in the sky, and I'm like, yo. So now I have a historic figure to reference, and I have a similar experience to talk
Bridge.
about.
When Constantine tells this story, he emphasizes, first of all, the vision of a cross in the sky at noontime. Secondly, he then had a dream in which Jesus Christ himself appeared and explained the vision to him.
Almost like he's a prophet. He has visions, he has dreams. Jesus speaks to him.
Precisely.
Oh yeah, one more thing. So the name of the game is dates. Out here in these Middle Eastern countries, dates are consumed regularly. They're treats, and you have them with the Arabic coffee. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a date farm. All of these palm trees, that's where the dates come from. So, there it is.
You're at 109 right now.
Excuse me. You're looking at a view, an aerial view, a bird's eye view of the city of Nizwa. If you look here, it says Nizwa Sports Complex. All right, Nizwa. I worked here. On Google Earth, it says this is the University of Technology and Applied Sciences. When I worked there in 2019, it was called the College of Applied Sciences. That's about it. Nizwa College of Applied Sciences. So when I looked at this map and I saw that there's a new name, the University of Technology and Applied Sciences, I was thrown off a little bit. Excuse me. However, I wasn't thrown off too much. The map is the same. The name of the university has changed. That's what threw me off. All right, so let's get into this. Let's go back into time, shall we? We're going to zoom in here. I'm zooming in. I want to show you where I lived. All right. And right here, this is where I lived in Nizwa. All right. Sorry to Dr. Saad. If you still live here, Dr. Saad, I just blew up your spot. Not literally. I don't want any drones bombing this location, on my account. It's kind of a joke, but it's a really bad joke because Dr. Saad is actually from Iraq, where, bombings really did occur. But all right, I'll just shut up. Okay, so this is where I lived in this home. This was a duplex. So there's a house in the front here, and there's a shared wall separating the house in the back. And I occupied the house in the back. There were about 3 bedrooms, like a foyer. 1, 2, 3, 3 bedrooms, a foyer, a staircase leading to sort of a loft, and they gave you roof access, and then there was a kitchen. So for one person, that was a lot of space. And what else can I say? That's about it. I have footage from the roof, from the vantage point of the roof where I was looking out. I spent many nights on the roof, many days as well. After work, I would go up there, lay out on the roof, read books, listen to music, just try to chill out. Of course, this is Oman. This is the city of Nizwa in the country of the Sultanate of Oman, and it's a desert, and it's a Middle Eastern country and Islamic. Ibadi Islamic nation. And so it's hot. It's hot out there. So I tried to cool out. Yes, I went on the roof. It was hot, but I also had a tent. I set the tent up atop the roof, and so I tried to shade myself, cover myself from the sun's rays. But in the evening, when it cooled down, you just go up to the roof. It's pretty cool and chill. Look at the moon, look at the stars. I would smoke a cigar, drink some alcohol. I usually like some rum and coke with my cigars. You can do that in Oman. At least when I was there, you could do that. Since 2019 when I was there. No. I think they started in 2018. They introduced a sin tax, where if you smoked cigarettes, if you ate ham or bacon, and if you drank alcohol, then all of those vices, all of those things, they were taxed heavily in order to discourage the consumption of alcohol, ham, pork products, and the like. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I lived right here. This is a little alleyway where I parked the car that I was renting. I would walk here. I would walk over here. I would walk from right over here and cross the street and buy a burger. They had some burger and fries I could purchase over here. They weren't very delicious. It was just some cheap eats. At that time in 2019, I could walk from here, around here, and go straight across the street. But now I see that there's something here that is obstructing my walk. And it looks like a home has been constructed here since I left. But before, I could just leave here and walk straight here across the street and go inside. There's a market here, and then there's a little restaurant on the side. All right. That was my hood. This is where I lived. You have other homes in the area. Then you have these streets that are paved. Now, this is one of the ways that I would get to school, outlined in yellow. So I would drive from the front here, from the front of the house. We'd drive up. Sometimes Dr. Saad and I would ride to work together. If I didn't have a car, if I was waiting to get a car, if the car was in the shop, or what have you, Then Dr. Saad and I shared cars. Dr. Saad told me we should leave home about 7:30 at the latest. Our classes would begin at 8 in the morning, and so leaving at 7:30 gave us plenty of time to get to work, to set up, and be ready for our classes. So this is the route we would take. We would drive down this road here, make a right over here. There's a small road over here to make a left, and then make a right to get over here, and then we take this highway. Now, of course, that's just one of the routes, because as you can see, we have access. We're trying to drive on this road, and we have access. This is an access intersection, point right here, like a T intersection. That's one access point. Here's another access point over here, and then we have one very close, very near to our home. So we had different routes, you know. If the car was pointed in this direction, we would go in that direction. But if the car was pointed in this direction, we'd go in this direction, right? And it all depended on how we felt. So some days we'd cruise out here, turn left, and then just go up the road here. All right, you know what it is. Like, yeah, you could take the same route to work, or some days you might decide, I'll take a different route. Anyhow, this is a very short distance here. This road, it's just a little road. It's a little 2-lane highway, or not even a highway. It's just a 2-lane road, right? All right. So as you can see, we would leave home, take this 2-lane road, and drive all up this way, and then up that way. Let's see. All right. And we get here to this roundabout. All right. Now, just to give you some idea, I remember when my car wasn't working, I didn't have a car one day, and Dr. Saad had already left work, and I had to walk home. So just to give you an idea, it took me about an hour to walk home. So I did it. Of course, I was hot, but I mean, it wasn't a big deal. There's just a lot of dirt, a lot of rocks I had to walk over, but it wasn't too bad. So it took me about an hour, probably 45 minutes to an hour. So it's not a great distance. Even if it looks that way on the map, it wasn't a great distance, really. Just figure, a decent, 30, 40-minute walk. And I might have taken some breaks, might have walked slowly because I was under the sun, under the heat and whatnot, but whatever. Okay. So I left work daily, and I took this route to work. It's the same route, the same highway, same street, okay? Here's where the story gets interesting, all right? I probably should start at home. Let's go back there. All right, so there I was. I was here. I woke up probably around 6:30 in the morning. I checked my Instagram feed, and I kept seeing a lot of pictures of Nipsey Hussle, and I was wondering what happened. And then I finally found the answer, and people were prayers up, the emoji, the prayer emoji, and all that. And so I realized Nipsey was gone. So I was hurt. I was laying down on the floor. I had a bed, but the bed was really hard and uncomfortable, and I found that I had a few mattresses, and sleeping on the floor was even more comfortable. Anyhow, I was laying on the floor. I had just woken up. I was looking through Instagram. That was the first thing that I did. I saw Nipsey Hussle's pictures. I learned of his demise. Some tears came to my eyes. I still had to get up to go to work. I hopped up, got dressed, took a shower, then got dressed, and then I had to make my way to work. So I was feeling hurt, very sad about the news, and I took the route to work. I drove this route. I drove this way. I drove this way. I drove this way. And it was pretty much a routine day, although I was saddened by the news of Nipsey Hussle's murder. So probably like this white car here, I was approaching the roundabout here. As I was approaching the roundabout, there's a car over here, if you can see that. Imagine this car was speeding, right? It was speeding to enter this intersection here. Anyhow, I was approaching the roundabout. I was trying to be a defensive driver. I was cautious and careful as I was approaching the intersection. But this car that was coming from this side, well, he wasn't cautious. He was just speeding. It was a big ass truck, a big Mack truck or dump truck or something, you know? And it was a big truck. So I'm already like, oh man, I don't want to get hit by that truck, you know? So the guy just comes into the intersection. He doesn't slow down, which you're supposed to do. You're supposed to slow down. I noticed the guy was Indian, so he was pretty much a migrant worker in Oman. And, you know, he had a job and he was trying to do his job. So he didn't even care about the rules. Maybe he was new, because the Omanis can come down on you if you break laws, break rules, especially if you're a migrant worker. They're like, man, follow the rules. What's wrong with you, boy? So anyway, he came flying through here, like this truck here, you know where that one is. He just kept coming. He didn't slow down. You're supposed to slow down when you approach these roundabouts. Well, there are a few cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 10. That's a big truck, it looks like. About 10 cars, okay? Well, in the morning when I was driving to work, there weren't as many cars on the road, right? There were much fewer. Imagine this. See this parking lot here? Imagine it being 7:30, 7:40 a.m. and this parking lot not being that empty. This is where the students would park. You'd enter here, and then you'd find a parking space. Let me see. Yeah, you'd enter right here. Yes, the front of the school. That's a walkway. Okay, all of this right here, you would park under. There are cars. There should be cars parked under here. And then there's some parking over here as well, from what I recall. My office was located right here in this building, right here. Anyhow, there weren't any cars on the road. That's the point. So this guy's come barreling down the road. I'm driving up here. And as I get to this point here, I notice he's not going to slow down. So now I'm like, oh man, this guy's an asshole. So by this point, as I'm coming around the curve, he's about there and he just plows through the intersection without slowing down for me, right? Because I'm coming around there and he comes through and boom. All right, so when he gets about here, I come around and I'm already pissed. I'm like, dude, the guy didn't even slow down for me. Man, he didn't even acknowledge that I was driving. He could have killed me if I had just, come around there a little bit faster. He would have hit me. So all of those thoughts ran through my mind. And then I looked at, probably when the car got around here, when the truck was around here, I looked at the license plate and I noticed, hey, that license plate, it looks familiar. It has 109 on it.
You're at 109 right now.
So I was already like, whoa, look at that. All right. So there's a little bit of a ways that you have to drive. So while the car is driving, ahead of me, and while I'm driving, I'm turning the curve, and I see that. I say to myself, damn, that's an unbelievable sight. What are the chances of finding 109 on the license plate on the back of the car? So I reach for my phone while I'm driving. I pull my phone out and I'm like, I've got to get a photo of this as evidence of what the heck I just saw. So as the car is moving down the road, all right, the car is moving and I'm getting my phone ready. So probably somewhere the truck is somewhere around here, because I probably took the picture around here where this car is, because I had to turn in here to go to into the parking lot. So I wasn't going to follow the truck any further than maybe about here. Right? So that's what happened. So I took that photo probably on the other side of the road, probably somewhere around here. It's probably where I took that photo. And that truck was somewhere down the road right about here when I snapped the photo. So that's how I saw 109 in the desert of Nizwa, Oman in the year 2019. This is where I worked. I worked over here. I have videos Well, I filmed walking through this building, walking out this building. These are the basketball courts where no one ever played because, of course, it's too damn hot. Too damn hot in the desert. You could only play at night, but they didn't have any lights. I suppose at night the bugs would be attracted to the lights if you had them. We had to walk this way, then walk this way to get to our office. Walk this way, walk across that corridor, down here, and then into the offices over here. Not this office, but this office over here in the corner. That's where we worked. Come out here, go to the cafeteria right here. I don't know what was here. Something else. I think there was like a women's section. I don't know what that was. So that's where it was. That's where I worked. And then, yeah, I would say it took us about 8 minutes, maybe about 8 minutes to drive from here to school. About 8 minutes. Not very long at all. I remember all of this. This is where we would eat. We'd go for the breakfast, get some gas, get some breakfast coffee or what have you over there. Yeah. So that was my life in the desert. And if you notice, this place isn't densely populated. There's quite a lot of space between homes, for this community. Look at how much space there is, how much empty land there is between homes. Each of these blocks is one home. All right? That's one home. The homes are huge. Okay? And look how much space there is, just empty space. There's a lot to be desired in Oman. A lot of space in between homes. Okay? So that's Nizwa, Oman. Now, the other thing that I want to tell you about me being out in Nizwa is the story about me seeing the cross in the sky. All right. So here's what happened. So I was here at the house that morning. It was 7 days after Nipsey's demise. I walked outside and I was just about to get into my car. Well, I had just walked outside of my home. I looked up into the sky. And basically where I am drawing the lines now are pretty much, where the cross was in the sky. And I estimate that it was probably about 10,000 feet in the sky. There was one line going like that and the other line going like that in the sky. And when I walked outside and I saw those lines, I said, hey, man, that is a sign. That's a sign from God right there. So that was my experience in the desert of Oman.
You're at 109 right now.
ले जाओ अंदर, मैं इसका पैसा लेगा, अंदर लेके जाओ, पैसा लेगा उससे।